What are the manufacturing tech trends that you need to know? That's what I'm going to share with you here today. My name is Eric Kimberling. I'm the CEO of Third Stage Consulting. We're an independent tech agnostic consulting firm that helps clients throughout the world with their digital transformation journeys, including manufacturing organizations throughout the world. And one of the things we're commonly doing is helping manufacturers figure out how to navigate all these different technological trends and things that are changing in the manufacturing tech space, whether that's ERP software, supply chain software, manufacturing execution, Industry 4.0 solutions, all that stuff that we as manufacturers care about. So what I wanted to do in addition to our client experience is attend a conference that focuses on manufacturers and manufacturing technology in particular. And that conference is called the Champions of Manufacturing, which was hosted in Dallas earlier this year. And I had a chance to attend that conference, go behind the scenes and talk to some manufacturing tech leaders and customers of manufacturing technology to understand what they think is happening in the world of manufacturing tech. So let's take you behind the scenes for my time in Dallas, Texas. And in the meantime, in addition to watching this video, I encourage you to also download our Manufacturing Technology Digital Transformation Report. You can find that by scanning the QR code right here, or you can go to the links below.
Ken, you work a lot, and your product suite works a lot with frontline employees in manufacturing. So you've got a unique perspective, not only from the front lines, but also just having worked with so many different manufacturing organizations. When you look at manufacturing today, mid-sized manufacturers throughout the world, tell me what you're seeing. I know this is a broad question, but what are the big trends you're seeing, the big challenges manufacturers are facing?
Absolutely. We're in 1,700 factories. I'm talking to leaders and executives and owners and CEOs of manufacturers in the midsize every week. And you hear, there are a couple of common problems. I would say the first and most pressing problem for the front lines in manufacturing is the skilled labor gap. So there's about 500,000 jobs for skilled positions in manufacturing that are unfilled today. So we need to be able to attract them, we need to be able to develop them, and we need to be able to retain them.
What I'm seeing is the trends is that people are moving from a mindset shift where they're moving from this idea of how do I replace workers to how do I use this to gain a competitive advantage with my competitors, right? To sort of do that. And the point there is as they do that, I think what I'm beginning to see is a lot of competition and consolidation within manufacturing software, right? You're beginning to see a lot of tools that actually do similar things. And then that sort of stuff. So I do see the biggest trend, I think, is a lot of consolidation and competition in the space.
Manufacturers are really good on building the stuff that we use in daily life. But what they are faced with right now, there's just so much uncertainty. There's so much supply-related issue. All the tariff wars, the costs are escalating. So how do you continue to run an operation in those kind of, environment? And some of these things I see. So, one of the things that I'm very passionate about is bringing resiliency, right? How do you build a system or run an operation which is resilient to these supply shocks, these changes, these tariffs and all that? And that can only happen once you bring visibility.
Yeah, so here in the U.S. specifically, we're seeing a couple of trends. The first thing, there's a lot of onshoring happening. People are bringing work back over here, tariff-driven, but also I think there's probably a desire to make more locally and eliminate some of the international shipping costs, some of the high costs that have been going on for a while. The other thing I see is people needing to make decisions faster because competition is so fierce in the market right now. And so as a manufacturer, as prices change, as costs change, the ability to control what's within your control is very important. So within your four walls, while you're producing, how do you do it more efficiently? How do you make decisions faster? How do you do it with the right size staff, not too many people, also not too few people? I think that's where we want to help people, not only to be able to bring operations into the States and set up facilities quickly, but also to be able to scale up, to adapt, to be agile in the moment, to meet the market needs, to meet customer demands in a challenging environment that we're in right now.
Yeah. How are frontline operators, shop floor workers, all the people on the front lines, how are they responding to this focus on AI that you're seeing?
I think it's more important now than ever. You've got the baby boomers exiting the workplace. The average age is getting older. As those folks exit, new people come in. You've got two things happening. One is the younger generation. They need and crave technology to be part of their work. Manufacturing's way sexier for them if they get cool tools, digital ways. They can stay in the loop. They've got that real-time visibility.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is centered around uncertainty in the industry, right? I mean, we hear a lot about that with the up and down of EV, with labor. We actually see a lot of capital investment coming in at the same time where we are actually condensing, right? So those two things are working against one another. So there's a lot of challenges around how do we automate, right? How do we make things more resilient? How do we eliminate unnecessary labor? Those are all challenges.
How about you, Tom? You work with a lot of different manufacturers in your role at QED. Yeah. What general trends or challenges are you seeing in the industry?
I think, filling the seats is a big thing. Some of the research suggests that 40% of people in manufacturing are 55 or older. So you're going to have a lot of people leaving the workforce, and there's 500,000 open manufacturing jobs. So who's going to come fill those? And we've ran into this in a couple of different locations when I was a customer, in a big manufacturing company. If you have a buyer plant or somebody that can be hired in the plant for, say, $17, $18 an hour, and they can go to get a job at Piggly Wiggly, or they can go get a job at, whatever down the street, they might stay there for a few months and then move to another job. So it's hard to keep them in those roles. And retrain is incredibly expensive. So, getting good workers is definitely a difficult thing.
So how does technology help, or does technology help solve some of these problems?
Certainly it does. I mean, automation is a big part of it, right? What can we do to automate things, to make the process easier? And how do we use it to train people and engage with people?
Ricardo, when you look at your broad manufacturing base and helping clients implement new technologies, what's the biggest challenge or trend that you see them experiencing right now?
Yeah, so there are a few. I would say, number one, customers, they have normally limited resources, limited availability to commit with a given project. So we have to work with them to find out ways on how we can make this implementation process more efficient, more productive. Number two, we have a change management process involved, because any given ERP, customers are normally using for like 5, 10, 15, 20 years the solution. So their processes are very well defined. How can we evolve that process? How can we bring some additional benefits for the customer in terms of productivity and business outcomes? That requires you have some more open mind approach to say, yes, we are doing this good for the last 10 years or so, but how can we do that better? How can we improve that, right? And how the software can bring value for you as part of that process. So that, I think, is the second challenge that we have, really moving them from where they are today, seeing the possibilities that the new software can, improve in their business processes, and then make that transition, right? I think that's the number two.
So this is what some of the experts in the field are saying about trends and challenges in the manufacturing technology space. But I'd love to hear from you. What's top of mind for you if you're a manufacturer, you're consulting to manufacturers, you're leading a manufacturing change? What are some of the biggest challenges you're facing, and what are some of the trends that you're most excited about? I'd love to hear your comments in the field below. And if you'd like to learn more about trends that we see in the manufacturing space as it relates to operational and technology improvements, our Tech Agnostic Manufacturing Digital Transformation Report is a must-read. Be sure to check it out. You can read it by scanning the QR code right here or go to the links below. So I hope you found this information useful and hope you have a great day.